Just think of the slide on the board and provide me with a number of words you come across with. What words come to your mind when you look at this picture?
Chaos.
Cows?
Yeah.
Chaos? Oh, chaos. Yeah. Alright, chaos. Good. What else?
Non-disciplined classroom.
No. Disciplined classroom. Okay.
Excitement.
Excitement. You see, that's euphemism. You know euphemism? Chaos, excitement. Lovelier. That's your attitude. The way we speak our mind out loud. Good. What other terms?
Has no practice managing the class students.
What do you mean by this? So I ask you to think of a term, one single word, and you use a long sentence.
Misbehave.
Misbehave. Misbehavior. So, try to write the terms your friends are using. Excitement, chaos, lack of discipline, misbehavior, inexperienced teacher, insecure.
She's chemistry teacher because nobody
She's
understands.
she's a chemistry teacher. So you've seen such classes.
Yes. Because nobody.
That's why you lost your weight, I see. And no, the reason why he lost his hair was his wife, basically. No. All right. What else?
Boring lesson. Boring lesson.
Boring lesson. Lovely.
She's unemployed.
So you see, the blame finger sometimes is towards students, sometimes towards teacher, sometimes towards the system. Yeah? So what else?
Never mind.
Sorry?
Never mind.
What?
Never mind. Yeah.
Narrow-minded.
Yes. Never mind.
Why? Do you see any narrow brain or something there? How did you get this term, narrow-minded?
Not narrow.
Ah,
Never.
never-minded. Never-minded. All right, what else? No? Anything else more exciting? I love that term.
Adverse circumstances.
Adverse circumstances, and we need to, one of the skills we need to learn is how to manage adverse circumstances. All right, Neti, anything else? You've got anything to offer? Have you been to such situations? I have lived with these guys for all my life. And I'm still healthy, not wealthy, but wise. Alright. That's my love. I do not call it chaos, I call it gentle excitement. You know why? Because when I go to such classes, I become one of them and I start doing these naughty things myself. Alright. What is it?
Just keep.
So, why on earth? It's all there, Betty.
Someone is watching us.
So, someone is watching us. It's 1984, George Orwell. Have you read the book?
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Brother is watching us. Alright? Do me a favor, you've got 1 minute to share your ideas with your partners, just the partner sitting beside you. Yeah. Talk about the thing you're having on the board. So why, in classroom management, I started with this slide. The reasons why. You two talk together in English. You two talk together. After 10 years again, you talk together. And you three talk together. So the reason why. Try to find reasons why I put it there. You talk to Mehdi, please. Yeah.
So we're not about this which are relating to today.
So how did you relate it to today event? May I have your beautiful, colorful ideas?
I think it's the director of school.
So, you've got such prying, you know, this kind of looking at something closely from somewhere is called prying. P-R-Y. Yeah. So you've got that.
Our group of three, we have decided that what we can see on the board could be eternal exploration, one idea, controlling students, another idea, lessons planning, and multitasking.
So how do you relate it to multitasking?
What do you want to try?
Multitasking means like a teacher should teach at the same time manage the classroom,
Uh-huh.
manage the students
Yeah,
at the
sure.
same time.
So we see different ideas, but the reason why this activity is called keyhole observation. It's a matter of observing your own classrooms as an outsider. Now, can you see? They are 83s. Yeah. What I want you to do now is on a piece of paper, those papers are going to go to the walls. Try to observe your own classrooms, but just management-wise, management-related problems you have had during these years. You are going to list them, but in an intelligible way, people can read them. I can provide you with markers. Now, on this piece of paper, observe your classrooms as an outsider, as the supervisor or the monitor or the principal of the school or whatever. See yourself as an outsider and write down all management-related problems you have experienced in your classrooms, but the main ones. And those papers are going to stick on the wall.
Full sentence or just phrase?
No, just note form. Keywords.
Full
Just, yeah. Keywords.
Only problems.
If you have positive aspects as well, you write them. The technique you use it even. Okay. Look, at the end of the day, we want to come to kind of certain conclusions, to reach to certain commonalities. We want to know what are the common problems we teachers have inside the classroom. Okay. You've got just 3 minutes to write down your ideas.
Sorry, I have got it. We have to write about how to say just.
What management problems you have had? For example, behavior management problems. That's a key word.
Not students, but teachers.
Yeah, you are the manager of the classroom.
How to plan any kind.
This will be followed by 5 minutes of gallery walk. You know what is gallery walk?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's silent movement.
You just silently move and you try to read others' ideas. Okay. So 5 minutes for gallery walk. But basically in galleries. So what were different and what were the same?
For different, I was really.
Listen everybody.
For different, I was really interested in the one which says riots.
Riot.
Yeah.
Do you have riots in the classroom?
That was completely, shocking for me.
Uh-huh.
And I'm wondering what exactly does the person mean by that?
So he will
I can't-
confess today, no worries.
Yeah. And for common things that I have noticed, it is discipline problems.
Discipline problems.
Discipline problems mostly when students want to talk
Mhm.
instead of doing their tasks. That's what I have noticed.
Good. Sorry, I lost my pointer. So what about others? Any interesting ideas you came across with?
One had mental disorder.
Mental disorder?
Yeah, it was an autistic
Do
or
you teach
ADHD.
do you teach with ADHD students as well? You know ADHD?
Sometimes.
It stands for Attention Deficit Disorder.
Sometimes we have some kind of students. I work here. Yeah, but that's not sometimes.
This is no mental disorder. This basically, do you call it disorder, ma'am?
I wouldn't, because if they really have mental disorders, they don't go to common schools. It's mostly homeschooling in Azerbaijan and some special schools. Because to distinguish mental disorders, they have to go to psychiatrists and psychologists for this definition.
Yeah. I think sometimes we exaggerate things when we come across with difficulties in the classrooms. So, any common ideas?
I would like
Talk to them, not to be pleased.
information,
Speak to them.
a lot of information, and also to concentrate of the pupils.
What do you mean, please?
For
Did you
example,
read? I mean,
when I started
Did you read and did you find any common thing or any interesting thing?
yeah,
What are they?
a lot of information.
A lot of
Someone,
information.
yeah, mentioned about.
Too much information.
Yeah. And also,
Sorry, I thought, did you grab my pointer by any chance? Because I don't trust you. You stole my pointer. Oh, no, sorry. Look, you see. So it was in your pocket to take it. All right. Anything else? Yeah.
I think here everyone suffers with noise. We all experience noise in the classroom.
What's wrong with noise?
Sometimes kids get too noisy.
Too noisy.
And in modern methodology, it's acceptable to have noisy classes
Yeah.
for speaking lesson, for example.
It's not only acceptable, it is appreciated.
It's appreciated. But,
So maybe, yes.
our principal, she doesn't like noisy classes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, change your principle.
Good idea. I will rewrite.
Yeah, you see, suggestions from people. Okay. Anything else? Any interesting ideas you found? Yeah.
I think that a student must have.
What's the problem with the sticks?
And also the wallpaper.
The wallpaper. The problem with the institute, you see? Okay.
No, the papers cannot carry the burdens of this.
Oh. Did you get the point?
Yeah.
So the weight of those problems are so it's all because of you. All right. Okay. So you were speaking now.
I think that students must have some goals because goals make you successful.
But in language education, do we need goals?
yeah.
Yes.
For example, for the IELTS certificate.
Aha. Depending on your age, degree, and your purpose. But kids are purposeless creatures. Yeah, well, I call them creatures, aren't they?
Obligation.
Obligation. All right. But I myself love the noise, and I'm one of the noisiest in the classroom, as you see today, unfortunately. Okay. Shall we move on?
Target. You have definitely.
So what are these things? So can I have A4 paper again?
I think this is going to be about plant and on-plant teaching or
Plan teaching.
on-plant.
Or concentration.
Okay. Thank you. So what are these things on the slide? Why I have put them there? Aims or goals, and what about this one? So what is this? Go ahead.
How to achieve.
How to achieve. Can you mimic?
Doubts.
Very different.
Doubts.
Doubts. Good. So what are they in my slide? So we said that this one shows aims, and this one, as you said, doubts. Why?
They seem
Yeah. Aims and concerns. All right. Please, on a piece of paper, on this A4, you've got just 2 minutes to write aims. And what are the aims of you? You came here today. And what are the concerns you have? By concerns, the things like worrying you. For example, at the end of the day, you found out that you didn't achieve a lot in today's workshop. For example, you're looking for something special and you're worrying that this might not happen at the end of the day. So what are those things? With a beautiful handwriting, write aims, then what are your aims and why are you here today and what are your concerns? I just moved around and I saw a lot of your aims are some sort of the same and your concerns. I didn't find a lot of concerning parts for the concerns. Can you name some of them, Mum? The things you found interesting? For example, I know you talked about here, this learn creativity, you said?
Yeah, I was interested in that one and I'm wondering how can you learn creativity?
So we are doing classroom management and you are writing about learning creativity. Maybe learning creativity in classroom management. Why not? Yeah, it's okay, thank you. Whose idea was this?
It's mine.
Oh!
I have the same one too. Learn creative ways of classroom management.
Great, Mehdi, 1 point for you. I will treat you tonight for dinner. Because Afar is offering everything. So that's why. Alright, anything else? Did you find any interesting ideas for aims and the reasons why? Yeah.
As a concern, I saw high scores and deadline.
High scores and deadline for today.
Yeah,
I do not see any point for that. Seems to be pointless. Yeah.
Implementation.
Of this.
Whatever we learned today, how to apply it.
Oh, that's the big issue. It takes time, ages, like 100 years. Implementation. So, do you offer any solution for this maybe?
I guess like you said, time.
It takes time.
comes by practice.
Yeah, everything comes by practice. But to me, it comes by the change in the attitudes. By the term we use instead of chaos, excitement. The implementation comes with this. It's all about here. Okay, now, I think it's a great time, if I'm not mistaken. Do you use such things in your classes? This British whistle? No. What? Balls? Like what? Very good. Depending on the size of the class and the attitudes of them, I use different bells. This is my favorite. Yeah, sometimes I use this, sometimes I use this, and there are some other balls.
Because of the size of the...
Yeah, the size.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I have this bigger one for camels. Have you seen that? Yeah. Once I used it, and then I got fired from the institute. Yeah. Okay. Now, how do you define classroom management? What's your definition? Write down. The definition comes to your mind in a sentence. One sentence or 2 sentences.
Good students and good teacher.
It's classroom management.
It's beginning of the subject.
Try to write it down. Write it down. Yeah, it can be 2 sentences, 3 sentences, whatever, it's okay. So, when we say definition, students believe you. Make students believe you in any circumstances, in education or in life. What do you think? You make them believe you. Believe what? You are a good person?
Good person.
A role model?
Yeah.
I see some lovely points in it. I see lovely points in it. We are going to discuss all these. Thank you. Mr. John, yes.
Classroom management is to manage the students' interests and attention so that they should be interested in the lesson and course material.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you, thank you.
Can I say?
Yes.
To involve needable information and good way.
What information?
To involve needable information.
What do you mean by needable? I mean, the needed information, for example? Good, good. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Now, what you are going to do is to unscramble that scrambled definition given by one of the great writers of ELT. Yeah, it is the Scrivener's idea.
And this more look like to my explanation.
How? This is a scramble. How did you understand
You
this?
see, manage, way, controlling, students,
Okay.
management.
Okay. Work in pairs, and try to unscramble it. But I want just you to move.
Okay.
Shall I? You don't like it? I like movements.
Now,
Okay. Your pairs. In pairs, try to unscramble and create. Okay.
Great. You organize.
Are you done? Classroom management.
The way that
Is the way that you?
it's not
Are you the way that you? Later, coming soon. That. Look, she was cheating from the internet. Yeah, I took her red-handed. Okay, good. Yeah,
Control management is the way.
control management. We are talking about classroom
Classroom
management.
management
Oh,
is the way controlling and organizing what happens in the classroom.
yeah, good, good.
You have your students that learning in classroom.
I see 30-40% correct. You sisters.
Classroom management happens by controlling your students' learning and organizing that in what way you manage the classroom.
Good. But not 100% correct, but good. And, yeah, your team.
classroom management is organizing and controlling your students' learning way. What happens in the classroom by you?
Yeah, okay.
Learning way by you.
Okay, now to check your answers with the correct one. So you see, classroom management is the way that you manage students' learning. You know, unfortunately, so many people think that classroom management is their behavior management. But we are responsible for managing learning. By whatever we do in the classroom, what we do is managing their learning. So how was it different from your definition? So you see, the focus is the student learning by organizing whatever happens in the classroom. Or, what about here? What it says is that you consciously don't want to organize something. It is not just a matter of chaos. You don't leave it free. You consciously don't organize. You consciously don't manage something.
Like noisy lessons?
What lessons?
Noisy.
Noisy, yeah. Sometimes I let them make noise. Okay, now, I will start with managing the physical environment in the classroom. The layout. What is layout?
How the students are seated.
Sitting arrangement. That's sitting arrangement. Look, in my philosophy, I want my trainees movement, always in movement. So, excuse me, I want to see every gentleman sitting and doing a pair work with a lady right now. So you are in the right place? No, change it maybe. Okay. A lady and a gentleman. What are these? AVK. Audio, visual, kinesthetics and tactile. You know, based on newer ideas of learning, we've got audio-oriented people who learn through ears. We've got visual-oriented people who have got this tendency to learn through eyes, and kinesthetics, tactile, are the people who want to move and touch things. Look, believe me, you are not just audio or visual oriented. There are some people who are kinesthetics. That's why I'm moving you. And I ask you to do this in your classroom. Ask them to move. Now move. I don't know. Find a partner. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. One gentleman can be with two ladies. It's okay. Not vice versa. All right. Okay.
Okay, I could switch and I can between both.
Yeah. Look, the important thing is the movement. You know, kinesthetics and tactile learners learn by movement. Believe me. If they don't move, they won't learn. I'm one of them. You see, I walked more than a kilometer today. So that's my way of learning. Learning pattern, learning style, whatever. All right. Now what you are going to do is, listen, to draw as many as sitting arrangements you know or you use in your classrooms. By sitting arrangements, for example, one is U-shape or semicircle or horseshoe or whatever you say. This is one of them. So what you do is to draw different layouts you know. You've got 5 minutes. 5 minutes to draw, but I want to see you discussing. Okay, talk to your partner. Yeah. Remember, please do not help them. Okay, ask them to move. Don't worry.
It is cultural.
So is that an issue? Come on. Don't play.
He can.
No, come on, please. That's education. So, this is the worst way. All right. So can you show others and people can see? So what about you? Is this the sitting room? Yeah, we've got this. What is it called? Lecture?
Lectural, yes, seminar.
Seminars. So is that useful for classroom?
Or background.
For language
It
education?
depends on the university or school condition, environment. Because
Yeah.
if you have wide place, you can use this model.
Oh, it's not a matter of space, it is a matter of ideology behind. I do not see a better ideology behind this seating arrangement. Look, even seating arrangements, the level of democracy you have in the classroom. You know, by democracy, I mean, what I mean by democracy in the classroom is, do you know Paulo Freire? Have you ever heard of his name? Paulo Freire. In 1968, wrote a book, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. He believed that for years throughout history, teachers were the oppressors and students were the oppressed groups. To give them voice, you make your classrooms a better place to live, more democratic place. With that way, I do not see any democracy. It is teacher-fronted classrooms or teacher-centered classrooms. But with newer ideas, I think he revolutionized. He's a Brazilian educator. Maybe he knows much better than I know. He's a Brazilian educator, wrote this book and revolutionized education. So that's the matter of democracy in your classroom. So, what about you? I see some lines. Can you? I see a lot of a U shape, a full circle. What is it? What do you understand this?
Like this one.
Teacher-centered.
Is this the teacher-centered?
Yes.
Like this one?
Yes, exactly.
No, there is this place. This is tipped U. This place is called tipped U. But this one,
Sometimes this model also working.
it's working.
Yes, exactly.
So that's teaching.
And it's more democratic.
But it's more democratic.
Exactly.
So, all right. So, any other idea?
Of course, we have a lot of ideas.
I think this is the grave of him. This is the teacher in his grave for eternity. So, what is it? Can you?
I am here.
You are, this is you.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I am learning at because I'm running conversation a lot.
You are in the center, and you just move around, huh? You will see stars after a moment. Okay, but very democratic. Thank you, thank you. You, yeah, lovely ideas here. So, can you talk a little about your ideas? Are you listening? Afar, questions good. All right.
Well, mostly we have 5 types of layouts right here. One is right here, the teacher's place, board,
Is it L4?
students, yeah. Here something like, it has already been said, like half circle or amphitheater with
Yes.
the teacher right here. That's what you just call U type over here. And this is the same with the L. Also, practically, the gentleman has this in his class where everybody is face-to-face in face-to-face situation, with the teacher as the head right here, with the board and students.
No, don't.
If it's face down, it's face down.
No, it is a time to have a look at newspapers to compare your ideas with the scrivener. Big table. They all gather around the big table. You know that we've got different activities, and these seating arrangements, different seating arrangements fit different activities in the classroom. So, this one is called U shape, or whatever you call it, semicircle. This one, tip U, some sort of this. Look, this gives more freer space for movement and more eye contact. I see the democracy inside it. And then when it comes here,
Round table.
it is round table, yeah. And then here,
Small round
what is it?
table. Round table.
It can be groups, or some people say aisles. It can be in different aisles. Yeah, that's a name people call it.
Question, in this number 4, they're all, so there's one group round the table, one group circulating, and one
Yeah, you know, different. Yeah, it is more useful for different people discussing or doing different activities. Some are engaged with one particular activity, some others another particular activity. So there is this freer space, and you need the luxury of the space in this type of classroom. And then when it comes to here, full circle, but don't feel yourself inside this. You know why?
Then you become center of attention.
Yeah, you are not supposed to be the center of attention. As a teacher, you know, what are the teacher roles basically we play in the classroom? One of them is monitor. You just monitor their work. Monitoring is not this. You just move around and you gently try to, observe and help them. Another role is to be the resource. You become that resourceful teacher. So I think when you are outside, you see their work and the quality of their work, and you decide in a better way, and then move around and gently help them. But when you are inside, this is quite distracting. When you are inside, and then your presence is more of a burden rather than a help. Okay, try to be outside. And then when it comes to here, again it is something like this, but a small place, just narrow gate to move around. Again, it has enough democracy in it. So do you know the name?
No.
Can you name something?
Excuse me, I have a question. Do you have names of these types? Because you wrote here numbers, but no.
Yeah. This is called rectangular. Rectangular. Full circle, zones or aisles, zones, aisles, full circle, rectangular. And the next, this one, again we've got rows, but curved rows. Curved rows. It gives better opportunity both to teacher and students to move around and feel free sometimes. But again, depending on the nature of the activity you are going to do in the classroom. And then this one is arrowhead. Teacher is normally here, but moving. Look, to me, a teacher mustn't just stick to one single place. He needs to be in constant movement. Okay. And arrowhead, then this one.
Parallel.
What?
Parallel.
Parallels. I think you had, one of you just drew. Who was that? One of you drew, yeah, such a line. It is called diagonal. Diagonal sitting arrangement. And this one, look at this. What do you see?
Parallel.
It is not traditional. It is not traditional. It's got new. Have a look. Look, tables are in back. Tables are in back. I do a lot of this in my classes. Yeah, and it works, really works. You know, there is no impediment between you and the teacher. as a student, you and the teacher. Oh, I love this. And then this one,
Discussing different.
what is the difference between this and others?
They talk to each other too.
There is no table here. It is called no table seating arrangement. So, what is it used for? No table seating arrangement.
Oh,
Democracy.
Yeah,
Conversation.
when there is this more of need
Communication.
for conversation, natural conversation.
And they are free and there's no any obstacle.
Yeah, no, nothing.
You can feel more alive.
Yeah, and it is more natural, as you said. So no table sitting arrangement. And this one? Face to face. Yeah. Okay. Now,
I have one question.
what is it?
The tense one.
Sorry?
What is the use of putting the tables behind students?
When there is no obstacle between you as a teacher and the student, it smooths. It helps for building rapport. We are going to talk about this rapport today a lot. Okay. Now. You've got this different layouts for specific activities. In your pairs or groups of 3, think 2 or 3 minutes for the different activities you normally have in your classes. What are the activities you normally have? I mean, for example, reading activities, vocabulary activities. So, in your groups, write down the number of activities you normally do in your classrooms. You've got 3 minutes, and then we are going to find a better seating arrangements for those particular activities.
So you mean we have to bring about...
Write down the number of activities you remember from your classes.
Yeah.
Someone from this row? Yeah, ladies first, always. Submitted. Wait. Speak to the group, and the group will listen to you.
Working patterns on presentation debates, for instance, sport. Choose one type of sport, like contact water team, individual sport, and discuss.
This is the activity. Yes. Thank you. And yeah. Yes.
Number 7 is...
No, we are going to discuss later. Just tell me what are the activities you came across with.
So, some experience about chemistry.
You're discussing chemistry in this. Very good.
Perfect.
Yeah. Kendi bir arkadaşım
About situations.
What situation?
Everyday situations.
Everyday situation. Yeah.
About in classroom.
Good. Everyday
For
situation.
example, in railway station, for example.
Look, he's cheating all these from the wife, you see? But because he's the sole speaker of the family, the head, like this, the man, real man, he doesn't want his wife to talk. Yes? Say no. Don't say yes. Say no. He says yes. Come on. Democracy. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Speak louder.
Yeah. Here is
Yeah.
regarding the type of activity, I mean control practice, free and free activity or practice.
Good.
Regarding the type of skill, I mean listening, reading, writing, and so on. I myself try to go for some different types of activities, such as, for example, filling gaps, matching headings, or
Okay.
I don't know, labeling,
So are these free activities?
No.
They're controlled then?
Control. For free, for example, for free practice, I mostly try to have one student sit in front of the classroom as it is called hot seat
Hot
or
seat.
hot chair. Or 20 questions,
Good.
something like this. Yeah.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you. Sure. So do you have any ideas?
Yes.
Sisters?
Okay, so we have exam assessments like that. We have we have group projects.
Oh. Go on.
We have group projects. We have jigsaw reading. And
Good.
role playing. We have matching.
Thank you. Enough ideas. Yes, you, last person.
As a part of a speaking class, I do conversation. When I do conversation, the ideal shape is circle, full circle for me, because I think the conversation is more natural.
Thank you.
Then pair work. When it's pair work,
So we are going to talk about the seating arrangement right now. Now, you've got a number of activities we normally have in the classroom. Have a look. So, debates or discussions, social interaction and conversational activities, planning. What kind of planning? For example, planning for a trip. Huh? So what we need, then people discuss the things they need for a trip. Huh? And any other planning. Then meetings, presentations and oral reports, role plays and simulations set in offices. You know that, for example, in everyday conversations, our real conversations happen in different places. Sometimes you can use some of those seating arrangements for those special activities done in a special place in an office, for example. And then mingling. Now, you've got another 5 minutes to find a suitable seating arrangement from all these 6 activities. 5. Yes.
So those 3 and the board are including these?
Yes. Now you have these. This is airplane seating arrangement, railway carriage, and House of Parliament. So you've got those 12 plus airplane, railway carriage, House of Parliament. Then separate corners, swimming pool and boardroom. Then mingling and outline plan. So try to match those activities to one or some of those seating arrangements and tell me why. Why do you think a special activity is suitable or being suitably done with one of those seating arrangements you have here or these? Once again, airplane, railway carriage, House of Parliament, very, very democratic. Then separate rooms, separate corners, swimming pool, boardroom, and mingling, and then outline plan. Look. Now, 5 minutes, try to match the activities with the seating arrangements. You can move.
Part that you have to regulate. This can be done. Anything that you have as a common table.